We're just ordinary people living ordinary lives until we see someone on TV win a $25,000 prize. Come on down. I'll play any game for 10 seconds of fame. Come on down. I'll make a deal, just let me spin the wheel. Come on down. To win $1 million, all you need is a little luck and thorough knowledge of multiple disparate trivial subjects.
All right. Welcome to another episode of Come On Down, the game show podcast hosted by me, John Baker.
And me, his best friend in the world, and for sure, the top of the friend list, Jonathan Montney. Why do you keep making that noise?
Did you see what happened about the Larry David documentary?
The Larry David documentary, I did see that it was a thing that was supposed to come out. I guess something has happened. No, I do not know.
So it was supposed to come out yesterday on HBO Max.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, interviews about his life.
I was looking forward to it.
And then yesterday afternoon...
Did he get sued by the crypto company they did the commercial for?
Yeah. He reached out to HBO and was like, no, never mind. Don't air it. Don't air it. I want to do it again, but in front of a live audience. And so
be interviewed by a whole bunch of people?
Be interviewed by Larry Charles, who's his friend and producer on Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Okay.
I want to do it in front of a live audience and record that instead.
And you know what HBO had to say? All right.
Yeah, that was what they said.
Yeah.
They'd been advertising it. They'd been running commercials. It was coming out yesterday. And then yesterday he was like,
Wow. Larry David has so much power at HBO that he could do that the day before.
And by yesterday, I actually mean Tuesday, last Tuesday.
Sure.
A week ago today.
So does he want to give the same answers?
That was what I was wondering. Like, is it just going to be the same, but there will be people there now?
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he felt uncomfortable with it. I did watch a while ago, like him and Ricky Gervais just having a conversation about comedy.
Yeah, I feel like they are aligned on a lot of philosophies when it comes to comedy.
Yeah.
In that nothing is off limits.
Right.
And God isn't real.
I mean, maybe.
I know that's a Ricky Gervais
that's
thing.
Definitely a Ricky
I don't know if
Gervais
that's
thing.
a Larry David thing.
Yeah.
Larry David's thing is Jesus isn't real.
Yeah, he definitely doesn't believe in Jesus.
Yeah.
So anyway, today we've got another episode of the show.
You're welcome, by the way. Not a single person has ever texted me and said, thank you.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point. What the fuck,
all
guys?
This free content
hey,
that we're just offering up like
should we just stop?
Like we're little whores that don't understand you're supposed to ask for money at the end. That's what I feel like.
That's kind of what we are. That is what we are.
We just forgot the second part of whoring.
Except also we're just, for 71 of our 72 episodes,
yeah,
we're just standing on the corner and nobody's stopping.
We're literally holding a sign that says free stuff. You don't owe us anything.
Hey, you want a good time? Drive by.
Right.
Drive away.
Yeah.
No good times. Anyway, despite all that, we're just gonna fucking keep trudging along.
Hell yeah, dude.
We're just gonna keep trudging along.
That's the tortured artist / full-time job holder's motto. Just keep grinding.
Yep.
Nobody tells you what grinding is, but everybody on Instagram definitely tells you gotta keep grinding.
Right. And I do, when I have my seeds and stems, I put those in the grinder.
Mm-hmm.
That way I get a little bit more at the end of the joint.
You sound very cool right now. I just have a question for you. Have you actually used a grinder ever in your life?
Hey, man.
Have you ever sat at your college shitty dorm room with a tweezer trying to get seeds out of the weed you just bought that definitely is barely weed?
420.
Yeah, he's avoiding answering the question.
We got a month and a half to go.
You're a
until the
fraud,
national
and I hope all of
holiday.
our subscribers call you out.
Whatever. I got him so high right now.
Oh my
I don't even
God.
know what it means to be called out. Anyway,
He's disassociated completely.
today we're going to be talking about a show called Repo Games.
And it is
a show.
It's
it is
like
definitively a show.
It's like Arnold Palmer in that it's half one thing, and it makes you feel one way,
Okay.
and then the other half is another feeling that you get,
Okay.
and it's not quite the same.
All right. I can't wait to get a deeper, more thorough explanation of this after we've talked
Oh no,
about the show
that's
a
as
little
deep
bit.
as it goes.
Okay.
That's
okay,
not
okay,
surface.
Got it. But first, obviously, we have a fake ad.
Excuse me?
Sorry, a sponsor.
Thank you.
Trimming your dog's nail can be... Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Trimming your dog's nails can be a pain. I was just thinking about that wound you showed me on your finger
Nah,
earlier.
you don't know that. It can be a terrifying experience for them and a stressful one for you.
Not anymore. Today's sponsor, Claw Be Gone, has an innovative and tested solution for this headache.
The process is so simple. First, request our services, and you'll receive the tough and technically legal shipping box for your furry loved one.
Put them inside with a week's worth of food and water, and they're off to the Claw Be Gone headquarters.
The real magic begins once they start to work on your pet.
Your dog is placed into a peaceful temporary coma while the trained vets remove all their nails.
Sound inhumane?
It would be if they didn't go that extra CBG step and replace them with fun and useful replacements.
Like what?
Tiny bully sticks. That way your pup always has something to chew on. And you can buy replacement bully stick nails. Or after signing 17 waivers, you can get actual replica Wolverine spikes like from the moving pictures.
Whoa, only 2 options seems kind of weak.
Boy, howdy, do I have some good news for you. There's exactly 3. Oh, sorry. That was crossed out. Check out these other options. Sausages, whole or halved cashews, miniature squeaky toys, Lego men with orange hats, velociraptor claws from Jurassic Park, and plenty more.
Check out their website for a full list of their options.
Come on down, members. Get their current new customer discount. 8 nail replacements for the price of 8.5. Use the code COMEONDOG at checkout. So the new customer is you pay more for less? That's the deal?
No, you get 8 nail replacements.
For the price of 8.5. So I pay more. I
No,
get less.
You're not understanding this. It's 8.5. Right. So yes, that is what it says. So that is what we will go with.
Yeah,
and that is correct.
Whoever wrote this put a lot of thought into this.
The sponsor.
The sponsor, Claw Be Gone, put a lot of thought into this.
Or he or she knew exactly what they were doing, and that's a funny punchline at the end.
I'm breaking. Uh-oh. Have you seen that episode of 30 Rock?
No.
Tracy Jordan figures out what breaking is. Mm-hmm. And the audience laughs about it, so he just intentionally fucks up every sketch he's in and does stuff like, "Uh-oh, my wig is falling off. What is happening? This is an unscripted event that is occurring right now. It's pretty funny."
You're saying that's what happened right now?
That's what happened right here. Is
It wasn't
intentional mistake.
It wasn't a yeah.
Yeah, so I don't understand why, if the problem is that your dog has sharp nails, you would want...
No.
The problem is just the hassle of having to cut them.
Correct.
So the Wolverine blades, you don't have to cut.
Is
so
dope.
It's good.
Correct.
But you will die. You will be killed.
Well, it depends on if you've trained your dog or not.
So you will be killed.
I don't think so. And it also depends on the size of the dog.
You don't think your dog with fucking 12-inch long blades coming out of his paw is ever just going to accidentally even just like cut your fucking foot off?
Okay. And what I'm saying is my dog is trained.
Right.
And it sounds like yours is not.
No, right. No. So I came in here and your dog was trained to just fucking stick his nose in my butthole for like 30 minutes.
And then, do you want to reread the script?
And then start licking the back of your head over and over while you were trying to plug in a light bulb.
Either of those situations, he has not stabbed me once with his Wolverine claws.
What about when he hopped up on this leather couch?
You would be stabbed. No. You would be stabbed, and the couch, and the couch would be stabbed. Yeah. But you don't have to go through the hassle of cleaning.
You don't have to cut him.
You don't have to cut him.
You're good.
Yeah, right.
So
Let's get into this game because,
Boy.
my God, was it a wild ride.
And I can't decide. Right now, we're 10 minutes in, okay? We're
Yikes.
10 minutes into this right now.
It's too long. We got to kind of...
So what I can't decide, and I haven't been able to decide since I watched this and looked into this, whether this is going to be, whether we're going to have a lot to talk about or almost nothing to talk about.
Correct.
I can't decide, and I guess we'll find out.
Okay.
All right, we'll see you guys next time.
Wait, so what
Come On
happens?
Down.
What happens if we get to the end and we still like do it? We're good at middle stuff. We're not good at ending and still having more to do.
We'll just end it. It'll
Okay.
just be over. I mean, that's
Okay.
it. So this is a game show, Repo Games, that debuted in 2011 on Spike TV. And this is important to me. This is important to me because it's important to you.
Yeah.
Because Spike TV is what is now known as the Paramount Network.
That you get on.
It's got MacGruber, MacGruber 2,
MacGruber too?
MacGruber Origins.
Oh my gosh.
It's just all MacGruber all the time, basically.
Okay.
And if you didn't listen to last episode, boy, are you lost.
Welcome to Come On Down. Thanks for starting at this episode. Bad idea on your part,
Yeah.
but thanks for stopping by.
72, that's a weird place to begin.
That is a weird one.
Unless you just really loved Repo Games, in which case it makes sense.
You're welcome.
It makes a lot of sense to join at Repo Games. So, 2011 on Spike TV, it actually ran for 2 seasons, 20 episodes each. We had 40 episodes of this bad boy out there.
Yeah, it blows my mind that this went past 1.
Sure. So, this was hosted by not your typical game show host.
Are you sure?
It was hosted by Josh Lewis and Tom DeTone. And you're wondering, oh, it's weird that there's 2 hosts like hosting together.
Yeah.
What's their banter like? How do they bounce back and forth off each other? They don't, just to be clear.
One guy.
They don't interact with each other at all.
One guy does what?
It is hosted by either Josh Lewis or Tom DeTone. I used an and originally. I realize now that it should be an or.
Right.
Because these 2 are allegedly actually repo men. People who come and repossess vehicles of people who have fallen behind on their payments.
Right. And if you're thinking, hey, how does a repo guy have the personality to host a game show? And the answer to that is they do not.
Yeah, that's probably accurate. So the series takes place in multiple locales.
So many.
So many.
Typically in houses that are around the $50,000 to $80,000 range.
Yes, in places such as Phoenix, Las Vegas, Dallas, right here, hometown.
Right
team.
here, hometown.
South Jersey, Indianapolis.
Okay.
The list goes on, or maybe it doesn't. I don't know. Those are the only ones I noted.
Okay.
So that could be all of them. But the way that the game
Didn't hear a lot of northeastern states in that, did you?
South Jersey.
Okay. That's like
South Jersey?
South Jersey is basically a southern state.
It's fair. Just they talk real annoying. So the way that the game show works is that actual people who are actually getting their vehicles repossessed
Dope.
get visited by our repo men here.
And it's an either or situation. You'll never see both
by
in the
either
same.
Josh Lewis or Tom DeTone and their crew and their tow truck. And they pull up and immediately, as quickly as possible, put the car on the tow truck, which is, I guess, how a
Classic.
repo man has to work, because you can't do it if somebody's in the car.
You're against the clock as a repo
you
man.
gotta get that car loaded up and get it out of there pretty quick. So they do that, and then they either go and knock on the door or are confronted by the person,
Typically confronted.
and they tell them that, hi, you've fallen behind on your payments. I'm here to repossess your car. However, I'm going to ask you 5 trivia questions.
Hold on.
And if you can get 3 of them correct,
I'm interested.
I pay off your car and you keep it. If you do
Cool.
not get 3 of them correct, I'm taking your car like I was supposed to.
Right. So we are potentially just elongating this very stressful, very horrible experience for these. And I put this in very slow, very deliberate quotes. Contestants.
Sure. So my next note, the next note on my list
And
of
for
notes,
all those listeners, I am still doing the quotes. It is a very
there's a long,
slow.
lot of quote. The very next bullet on my notes is this game is insane.
Yeah, correct. And just to give you an idea of this host a little, I'm sure you have a couple notes on him.
Sure.
This is the first thing he says on the first episode. I watched episode 4, season 1.
Okay.
You get all the intro, the very cheaters-like introduction to this, and the guy pulls up and puts his car in park and says, "Oh man, I hope they're not pissed."
They're always going to be pissed.
100% of the time, they're upset. You're there to take their car away. You're there to take someone who depends on that car for a job that they use to not have enough money to pay for their shit.
So to further contextualize this a little bit,
Contextualize it, please.
2011, like I
Slowly.
said, is when this came on the air. There was kind of like a little bit of repo mania going on the TV.
Okay.
There were other shows about repo men.
Was it like a
Like
reality show?
There was a reality show. I can't remember what the name of it. There was a repo reality show. There was a lot. There was like Dog the Bounty Hunter was really popular.
And he kind of repoed people.
Exactly. And then there was like Storage Wars.
Okay.
Where people would buy abandoned storage lockers at auction.
What a
and then
shitty-
try and like flip the shit. And like Pawn Stars and all these shows that were a very similar kind of
Low budget looking.
obviously low budget looking, but like very like the lowest of the blue collar type of jobs that you could interact with.
Lowest? What do you mean, you fucking entitled bitch?
Right. No, I'm talking about like the repo men and the pawn shop owners and things like that.
These guys make a great
Oh, they're
living.
scum.
Probably make more money than you.
Right. And they're scum.
Oh, wow. The pawn guy?
Of course. You know what pawn shops do? They
Yeah.
fucking take your shit at your time of weakness
Why is it your time of weakness?
because you obviously need that money desperately.
Get a loan.
And
Those loans
They'll
don't
give
charge
you-
absorbent crazy
Right.
interest
and
rate.
they'll do the fucking like what the payday loans and shit like that at a lot of the pawn shops, which are super like I remember watching one of these. It was like a Rent-A-Center or something like that, and it was like, you know, come in, you can get a payday loan or whatever it was, or you know, get a couch.
Yeah.
And then in the fine print, it was like, you know, for only you only have to make payments of $49 a month or something like that.
Great deal.
And then at the bottom, it was like, $49 dollars a month for X months, after 1,500% interest rate.
Oh.
It was just like one time when I was in college. So it was before my senior year of college. I was moving from a furnished apartment into an unfurnished house rental.
This was with you and Heather.
Yes.
Okay.
And so I needed furniture. But I only needed that furniture for like 9 months
Yeah.
because it was just for my senior year of college. And then I was
Sure.
going to be moving
A
presumably
blossoming young man in the world.
somewhere else in the world. And so I was like, oh, I'll just go to Rent-A-Center and rent like a bed and desk and dresser.
You didn't have a bed?
No. Because I
Oh,
lived
yeah,
in
I
a furnished
guess-
apartment.
We had beds at
Yes.
Oh, wow.
We lived in a fully furnished apartment. And so I was like, I'll just go to Rent-A-Center and rent this stuff. For 9 months to rent just the bed,
$50?
$1,000 for a full-sized bed for 9 months,
Huh.
which is more than it would cost me to buy a full-sized bed and own it forever. Because at the end of that 9 months, I would have had to return that. And I don't get the $1,000 back either.
But you didn't need the bed after 9 months.
So I just went to IKEA and I bought all the furniture and then I threw it away at the end.
That is the most entitled sentence I have ever
It was the
heard.
least comfortable bed I've ever slept in.
Of course, IKEA stuff is like $100.
It didn't even have a real mattress.
You
It was
go
just
to
like a
IKEA
fucking blanket on top of a wooden board. It was so bad. It was so bad.
Dude, when you have your kid, you're gonna be like, when I was in college, I slept on an IKEA bed.
Imagine trying to have sex on just a plank of wood. There's no like give. There's no bounce.
Yeah.
It's difficult.
That's how
imagine.
ancestors had sex on rocks.
They were like, bring me a rock. It's mating time.
Do you think they go out to look for a mating rock, or do you think they had one in the village that they?
I don't know. Do you think they had to take the women out on like a nice date beforehand, though? Do you think they had to take them out to dinner?
I think they did. Yeah. I think what they did is they would take the women out, and the women would hide in the bush and watch the man murder an animal.
Right.
And then that was the date, was watching.
That gets them both real worked up.
Yeah. Yep.
And it is time.
And then
it is time.
It's time to go to the fucking rock.
So also I wrote, so in this game show, you got to get the three questions right.
Quotes on that game show.
Yes, you got to get the three questions right to keep your car. They have it already hooked up to the tow truck.
Mm-hmm.
And the catch is, for every time you get a question right, they lower it to the ground slightly.
Ooh.
And every time you get a question wrong, they raise it up a little more. So you get that real visceral reaction to, oh no, there goes my car. Here comes my car back down. And so, further context, in addition to all these types of shows being on the air, the 2011, we are pretty tightly connected to the recession that began in 2008, 2009.
10-year anniversary of 9/11.
So, most importantly, so there are a lot of people that were struggling to find work at this point in time. There were a lot of people that were
Lost
also
their
losing their
homes.
homes at this point in time. And there were about 1.5 million car repos per year in the U.S. going on at this point in time.
And I'm assuming that was much higher than.
Yeah, but it's back up to that level basically again.
Oh, no.
Now. So yes, it was elevated. It was higher than normal.
Get a hoverboard. Save your money.
I've been trying to get one. Nobody will let me
Think about
get
it.
one.
I know you think in your head like, oh, that's dangerous. Well, if everybody had a hoverboard on the highway, it wouldn't be as dangerous.
That's fair. That's fair. So one of my notes after diving into this show was, this feels fake. The interactions with the people telling them that they're repossessing their car and, oh, but there's a way that you can keep it, felt 100% scripted to me.
I disagree because, first of all, my first note on this was the image of the people that you think would host this show is exactly what you think.
They're big and strong and a little bit intimidating.
And they're wearing bulletproof vests under their shirts sometimes. And the one I watched, the girl was borderline inconsolable, crying. She was so upset because she lost the game that she was unable to be on camera. She was crying so hard.
Oh, no.
So either she was a phenomenal actress, or she looked the part, sounded the part, and was the part of someone losing their car.
So hold on. Yeah. Because I then made another note that said, it seems less scripted once they start actually playing.
Okay. There was a two-part.
Like, to me, what it felt like was maybe some of the initial interactions were reenacted, just because of the way that it would initially go down. Also, because I think it's likely, because nobody really had this reaction from what I watched, but it seems likely to me that why is there a big, huge film production crew, and why are there lights and boom guys and cameramen surrounding me and things like that for my car to get repossessed? It seems weird. And I never saw anybody be like, why are there all these camera people here?
I saw a lady,
which would maybe be my first reaction,
threaten the camera people to get off her lawn, but there was never any question of what are you doing?
Right,
here?
exactly.
It was more of, I don't know who you are, get the fuck off my lawn.
So I'll get back to something like that in just a minute here. So yeah, I mean, I do believe well, first of all, the prize of getting your car paid off and the question and answer portion, due to game show regulation laws, has to be real. We know that. We know that it can't be scripted. The game show has to be real, otherwise they would be violating federal law.
Because of 21?
Yes, because of 21 and all the scandal that erupted from that back in the 50s. So we know that it's the game show portion of it is real. We know that the prize of keeping your car
is so sad
is real.
And so real.
And let me tell you something that happened on this show.
Ooh, story time.
Story time. This is an episode I watched. And I then had to do much further research into this.
By the way, we had to pay to watch these.
This is true. This is only available on iTunes or Amazon for $2.99 per episode.
Yeah, way too much money.
So, and they're 21 minutes each. And there are 3 contestants / repos per episode. Mm-hmm. And it will alternate between Josh Lewis and Tom DeTone within an episode. It is not one of them consistently. It is not even one city for the whole episode.
Yeah.
It just bounces the fuck around seemingly at random. And so I was watching an episode and it was Josh Lewis, and they roll up kind of it's dark out. It's at nighttime in Las Vegas.
Ooh, that's a dangerous one.
And they are, repossessing this couple's car, and they're playing the game, and they end up winning. They get to keep their car.
Whew.
However, right as they're wrapping up, a neighbor comes outside and starts yelling at the crew to get away from his house.
Okay.
Because they were parked in front of his... They had some of the production cars parked in front of this guy's house.
You want to piss someone off in the suburbs? Park in front of their house.
And he's yelling at them. And then he decides he's going to brandish a gun.
Yikes.
He's going to brandish a gun here.
A real one?
A real gun.
What kind? Handgun or shotgun?
A handgun. And then he decides he's going to fire the gun.
Into the air as like a celebratory firing?
And so he fires. And I mean, it is like there are people like running, jumping over walls, getting behind trucks and vans and all this stuff. There's whatever the closest production truck to him is like peeling out, trying to like drive away as 3 shots ring out.
Is he aiming his gun at people?
So there's some debate there.
Okay.
So you never, in the footage, again, it's dark and he is not in the area that they are lighting. So you don't get a good view of him. However, one of the production vans does end up with a bullet hole in it. And there are 2 spent shell casings found near his garage, and 1 found in the street. So this is a guy by the name of Carlos Barón. And he is
state senator
charged with unlawful discharge, assault with a deadly weapon, attempted murder, all this stuff. And so they claim that he was just firing the shots up into the air because the production crew was intimidating him, which seems a little unlikely to me.
Well, even if they were, that's
still unlawful
if somebody
discharge, by the way.
Pushes you and you
shoot them in the face. Yeah. So he fires his gun into the air twice, according to them. And that is all that they claim. So here's where it gets really weird. He is the registered owner of a Glock 9 handgun.
Hell yeah, reliable. Great for shooting in the air, by the way, or at camera crews.
The spent shell casings were not from the weapon that he owns that is registered to him.
Somebody's got an illegal handgun.
The gun that shot the shell casings was never recovered.
Gotta find that murder weapon.
So, and they said that they don't know how a third shot was fired from a gun that put a bullet hole into the production van, but it wasn't him, and it's not their job to prove who shot that. So,
who's there? You saying the cops?
The defense.
Oh, the
defense.
Yeah.
They said, well, you've never recovered whatever gun shot this. So we don't know who shot it.
And that's, I think, is a selling point to being a lawyer. You know how fun it would be to say that to someone's face and be like, good luck.
Right.
Prove it.
So he
shout out Jeremy.
Got convicted of some of these things, acquitted of others, and was sentenced to 90 days in prison.
I bet, and you know what? I bet he learned his fucking
lesson.
And I thought, after that.
How the fuck do you just start shooting your gun at random people and get 90 days in prison?
Because you get a defense that says, find the weapon, bitch.
And then I continued reading this article, and it said, Carlos Barone, brother of North Las Vegas City Councilman Isaac Barone.
Okay.
And things started to make a little more sense to me.
So we got one of the best defenses probably in that area.
He's connected is what I'm saying. Yeah. He's got the hookup. Holla if you hear me. So yeah, but he, got a little bit of time in jail for going fucking insane and running around the streets shooting guns at people. By the way, thank God he didn't have an ounce of marijuana on him or something. Because he'd be in jail for fucking life.
Yeah.
Thank God he didn't do something truly evil like smoke some pot.
Although, I would love to get pulled over after smoking a fatty J.
Mm-hmm.
And, I will at the time have smoked it all.
Right.
And then the cop is like, you're high. And I'm like, show me where the fucking weed is.
Show me the bullet hole.
And then I'll go to jail. Show me the bullet hole. He's like, wait, what?
I didn't fire that gun.
Oh, shit. You found
It's not my job. You go, it's not my job to prove whether or how much weed I smoked.
He's like, I know. I'm arresting you right now.
So, yeah, that's the story of Carlos Barone and an episode of Repo Games where the production crew just got shot at by a fucking crazy person.
And then what was crazy is the next episode, they went to his house to repo his car.
By the way, this was season 1, episode 8. So they did 32 more episodes after a guy tried to murder them all for making this show.
I think, though, that goes to show you that the production crew or the lawyers, whoever tied to the show, were probably like, and then that's a wrap on that. And they're like, brother, this is a Tuesday for us. Like, we get chased and we get shot at. Like,
sure.
Can you imagine? People want to kill you for trying to take their car.
So another after the calm down from the attempted murder situation, that was the first of the 3 in this episode that I watched.
Wow.
And so the next one was maybe even better because they roll up to this couple. I don't know. They're in their 60s.
Oh,
early 60s probably, and they're getting their pickup truck repossessed.
Damn.
And they come out and they're upset about it, and then their daughter comes out and she's upset about it, and she's a stripper also. She announces that she's a stripper.
Okay.
And so she doesn't own this car, so she's not allowed to play, I guess. Oh. So she's kind of just like standing on the other side of the yard off by herself, cheering them on. Basically, she's the studio audience.
Oh, jeez.
And at one point, they ask the couple a question, and they're thinking about what the answer is. And I guess it was maybe some sort of science-related question. I can't remember what it was off the top of my head. And our host turns to the girl, the daughter, and says, did you study science in school? And she says, quote, I didn't go to school, I have big tits. And then bounced up and down as to jiggle her tits. And then the host turned back to her parents and said, good job, guys.
Oh, yikes. What a stick.
So I thought that
Did the parents seem proud?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Oh, so they thought it was an actual legitimate compliment.
Oh, yeah. And you know what? It might have been. Because the host, he seemed into her. He said, because they lost because they were really fucking dumb. Just real. So I will say the questions on this show.
Yeah. It's hit or miss.
It were very varied in their difficulty.
Yeah.
I think there was one question in the episode, so I guess out of the 15 or whatever, that I straight up did not know.
God, you're so smart.
Which was, what 3 things can't you do to a mogwai in Gremlins?
Water.
Right, I knew that one.
Feed it after midnight.
Right.
Molest.
Sunlight.
Ah.
Yeah. Can't be in the sunlight. So, but they got that one right. It was the people who were about to get shot at.
Oh no.
So, so the people, I mean, like what city is the Gateway Arch in? And their answer was Michigan.
Oh man.
So
that's Michigan, Gateway City.
That's who we're dealing with. And he was like, all right, that's a state. Do you have a city? And they're like, oh yeah, Detroit.
The one I saw was name 5 states that touch the Gulf of Mexico. And she said Texas, Florida, Georgia, Louisiana, and Atlanta.
Yeah, there was some confusion from a lot of these people.
But to be fair, you're playing for your car.
There's a lot of pressure here.
So it doesn't matter. I don't think it matters how easy or hard these questions are. The level of anxiety running through you has got to be coursing through your veins.
So I will say I've missed something and I want to go back to it.
Okay.
When I mentioned that there was a guy in a production van that kind of peeled out and drove away.
Yeah.
So he had a camera rolling in the production van at the time.
Okay.
And so as he's peeling out and there are gunshots going off behind him, he says, "This is what Anderson Cooper does, bitch." Like, because he's reporting from a war zone.
Okay. God.
This is what Anderson Cooper does, bitch.
Yeah, that's basically. However, you have placed yourself. Well, I guess you created the war zone.
Yeah. So basically just like CNN. Think about it.
We lost half our listeners.
Think about it.
Think about it.
Think about it.
So I want to say a couple things.
Hold on. Let me just finish something real fast. And
my
and then
God,
I would love to hear what you have to
dude.
say, because I have a topic of discussion that came up.
Okay.
Because so those people lost their car, the people with the stripper daughter.
Sure.
And they start to pull it away, and then she says, "I'll show you my tits for the car." And
Not a bad.
first of all, just go to the strip club when she's working. I mean, it doesn't cost you a car. But like Josh Lewis was like, "Oh, hey, hold on a second."
Yeah.
But they did take the car, even after she showed her tits.
That's so rude.
No. But she did have big boobs, which led me to, I was listening to a different podcast. I listen to podcasts other than our own on occasion.
You're so cool.
I was listening to the Boys Cast with Ryan Long and Danny, a Polish name.
Sure.
And they were reporting on a study that found that rich men prefer women with smaller boobs, and poor men prefer women with bigger boobs. And I thought this kind of applied to this situation of these poor people who were getting their car repossessed, and she had huge old titties.
But how do you explain like high-end stripper clubs like Spearmint Rhino, where it's like super rich people and all the strippers have big boobs?
Well, I've been
I've
to
heard.
Spearmint Rhino, and I would not describe myself as super rich people.
You're a healthy upper middle class.
Um,
We didn't go to strip clubs when we were in college when we were dirt poor.
you're right, but I went there when I was not upper middle class. Also, when I was just regular middle class.
So now that you're upper middle class, do you prefer small? Did you notice a transition in yourself?
Well, no. Now that I'm upper middle class, I just prefer sex slaves. I don't deal with that riffraff.
Right.
Out
And
of strip
we
clubs.
run our sex slave operation out of a pizza parlor.
Who doesn't? So what did you have to say? You had something important to say before we got into the booby discussion.
I mean, it's debatable if important, but it's something
You said
that
it was
wanted to
very.
say.
You said it was very important.
No, I said I
and
wanted
the people
to
need
talk.
to hear it.
I wanted to talk now.
Yeah, I'll let you talk.
I felt that the hard.
Actually, hold on a second. Let me talk about
I
something
felt
else.
that the hard rock music at the beginning was an absolute perfect
It fit in.
musical accompaniment to
Sure.
this show. It 100% felt like a cheater show in that the second cameraman is in 78% of the shots.
Yeah, it's very voyeuristic.
You don't
Like you're watching something that you're not supposed to see.
yeah, and you feel icky watching this show because you should. It's not like I understand that. I think there are two philosophies on this. One, this is a good thing for these people. You're giving them an opportunity to win their car back. But on the other hand, you're exploiting the shit out of these people, and you're not just exploiting random people. These people have not voluntarily placed themselves in like a fear
Casting
factor
call,
situation. They are unwillingly put into this situation. You can tell it's like a boss and like lower level employee situation. There is
A power
nobody
dynamic.
talks about it, but it is palpable that this person does not have a choice in this situation.
So here's what I wrote, and I'll read you exactly what I wrote on this line.
Yes.
Not to be woke about it, but this kind of feels like it's exploiting poor people / minorities for laughs.
Yes. Because it is.
And that was at the very beginning. And so in hindsight, like the kinda is not necessary at all. Because it is 100% exploiting poor people for laughs.
Yes.
That's what it's all about. And so by that association, minorities make up a higher percentage of that than white people. So yes, I would say this show is exploiting poor people / minorities for laughs. And here's the thing. Getting back to pizzerias with child sex slaves in them. Sure. After watching this show,
Yeah.
I better understand the beliefs of the QAnon people. I don't think they sound so crazy anymore.
How so?
I don't think they sound so crazy anymore because I don't think it's that big of a reach to get to the powerful elite are harvesting child sex slaves in a pizza dungeon. I don't think it's that big of a leap to get there. When you have, the powerful elite are taking away the only method of transport or getting to work for poor, underprivileged people who are going through an incredibly difficult time of their life right now and maybe having the most valuable thing that they own or will ever own taken away from them in front of the eyes of millions of people laughing and eating fucking popcorn and stuffing their faces while they watch it to get some entertainment value out of seeing these people fucking dance while the gun is being fired at their feet over and over.
Literally. 100%. There was an episode where a contestant was a single mom with 4 children. She came out with a bat, and they got her to calm down. And she won her car. She was a nervous wreck. She did win. She got her car back. And then the host asked her to make him lunch. So she went into her kitchen and made him a sandwich.
just a little extra exploitation on top.
And you could tell, like, she in her head, she was like, fucking kidding me? But like, she was happy. She just wanted her car.
Right.
But you could tell as she walked into her house, she was like, I'll trade one sandwich for my car. You
So-
could tell she was like, I need this.
So as I was watching this, the main thing I kept thinking was, why has there not been a revolution?
Yes, dude, I thought that. I've been thinking that for the past like 6 months. So everybody is so upset, and it's like, if, dude. Okay, so here's the thing: the two-party system is genius in the sense that if you keep people divided, at least you don't have them realize how much power people have if they were to just come together on like one thing.
Correct. Because all I could think was, this is some like pre-French Revolution type of shit.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
these people, it's rich and powerful people fucking exploiting them for their entertainment while they suffer. They're going through suffering live on TV. Isn't that fun to watch? It's the fucking Hunger Games.
Yeah.
It's real. Like, this is fucking gladiators being thrown into the pit with a lion, and all you have to do is kill that lion, and what do you get? Not to be eaten by a lion. That's what this is.
And you don't even get to keep the lion for food afterwards.
That's exactly what this is. The car is the lion in this scenario, basically.
Yes.
You get to not be eaten. Like, it is absurd. It like, I might be rooting for Putin at this point. Just to fucking
Fuck the West.
press the red button, start it over. Like, drop the nukes. This is ridiculous.
I mean,
Well, listen, while this was going on, while in 2011 we were fucking exploiting these people, watching them at their lowest of their lows, laughing with fucking 15 cameramen in their face, shoving
It's
lights
too many
and
cameramen.
lights and boom microphones all around them. Also, while that was happening simultaneously, former presidents were hanging out with Jeffrey Epstein on an island with little girls that they've used as their little fuck toys for their entertainment.
allegedly.
That is what the divide in our society is like.
Hey, there will always be havers and have-nots.
Right. And can't we just like work to help the have-nots humanely instead of like this reminds me, and this is before this was a thing, but now it is, of the fucking YouTube video trend of some fucking smarmy little white dude that is going to go out there and be like, giving a homeless man $100 bill, and to film his reaction to the homeless man, oh my god, thank you so much for this. And they're like, I'm a fucking good person. Like and subscribe. Like, fuck you. I hope you get hit by a bus.
I don't know. Those guys aren't that bad. Like, I like Mr. Beast. I love his shit.
Fuck you. I hope you get hit by a bus.
But I thought you were going to say
The pranks?
Yes, dude.
Yeah.
That's
even worse, obviously.
I think those people are lower than Repo people because you don't know what a prank is. A prank is what we used to do. God, we sound so old. A prank when I was a kid was calling someone and
pretending to be someone else.
pretending to make fart noises into their ear. And you know what that person could do? Tell me to fuck off or hang up.
Uh-huh.
And in this situation, in the here and the now, if you say something or do something embarrassing in a high stress situation, as someone is fake pulling out a gun on you, that is now seen by everybody.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So what I'm saying is, bring back prank calls. Let's
Where's the jerky boys when you need them?
Let's kill caller ID, and I think that our society would be able to release some stress by performing prank calls. I would rather have a prank call over a fucking scam call any day.
Yeah, of course.
And that's why I pick up every single phone call I get. Just in case
someone asking if your refrigerator's running.
A kid is in a formative year trying to just blow off some steam. I will sit there and listen to his, Prince Albert. Do I have Prince Albert in a can?
But the funny thing is, by the time we were kids, that already meant nothing.
Right. But like, it's like
but it was still like a common thing.
It's a trend.
It comes around.
Yeah.
And like, I think when we were kids, we heard that, and we didn't even get it.
No.
But we knew that it was a prank that we could pull, so we were fine with it. We were, let's go with it. Do you have Prince Albert in a can? No, it's not 1960, you fucking kid.
Yeah, or if they would pull the what's that and you just go and you just hang up because you're like, fuck, they got me.
Nothing. Well, what's up, dog, with you?
You're blending like 7 things, kid.
you have to be able to pivot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was reading. I was trying to look into what were the because I don't remember this being on TV.
Me either.
I didn't watch a lot of Spike TV reality.
I watched a lot of Spike
shows.
TV, but not reality.
And so I was trying to look into like what were the reactions to this when this came out, because this seems horrible.
Yeah.
And there were definitely some of those reactions. And I read an interview with a random reality TV producer, an anonymous reality TV producer.
Okay.
And they were asking them about this show. And like, you produce reality TV shows. What do you think the thought process is into something like this? And this is a quote from him. He said, quote, "If they lose, well, fuck them. They couldn't pay anyway, so the audience doesn't have to feel bad for them."
Oh my! That explains how all these shows become into fruition.
And I don't think he was saying that from his perspective necessarily, but that the overall idea was it's a win-win, because if they lose their car, the audience can say, well, they didn't pay their car off. They should lose it anyway.
Yeah.
So they don't feel that bad. And if they win, then the audience is like, yeah, that's awesome. They won a car.
Their car.
Right. Their car,
yeah.
to be clear. And like, I don't know. I'm not saying that the entire repossession concept, I guess, is necessarily evil, because you do have to pay for the things that you have.
Correct. You don't have to.
But exploiting the people when a lot of them, majority, probably vast majority, aren't trying to just get away with not paying for their car.
Right.
They just can't for one reason or another.
Yeah.
Exploiting them because of that. We should all be dead. We should all die. I'm willing to die.
Okay. I wouldn't go that far. I would say there were 2 different types of people on this show.
Black and white.
Yeah, but there were people
And
that
Mexican.
had like shitty Chevy.
No Asians.
Shitty Chevy cars.
Right.
And you could tell like, they're struggling.
And the people that overextended themselves.
Correct.
On
the one that
like
I saw.
The Buick SUV.
Oh, okay. I saw a BMW and a Chevy, and a Corvette. It was like an older one, but it was like a Chevy Corvette. So you could tell like these people overextended themselves for sure. By the way, this was an episode where both.
So you didn't feel bad for them?
Both people, I did feel bad. Both people in the household had to play because both cars were getting repoed.
Oh.
So the girl lost the Corvette, and the guy won, and they were able to keep their BMW. And he told, when she first came out, she told the host, "This can't be happening. This can't be happening. I'm getting married next month." And throughout the episode, as he's questioning both those people, just kept congratulating them on their marriage. And that was the thing.
I will be taking your car, though.
That's the thing.
It makes it more awkward, right?
It was so much more awkward. The thing that I didn't like the most about this is that the guy was doing his best to act like an actual game show host. And it's like
a chill friend.
This person isn't happy at all to be here. Like, because he kept being like, "Come on, aren't you excited? You got one right." And the person's like, "Yeah, I get, yeah,
Right.
I got one, two more."
And so your answer was, "We'll tell you after the break."
Yeah. You've done this for every question. How many breaks are on this show?
Yeah. So,
did you like the Intel pop-up screen?
Oh, when we were introduced to the victims.
That's 100% the correct word for this. It was like the next bus when they would pop out,
yes,
freeze frame, and so it'd be like name, age, and then the intel. And one of them was like, this lady was getting her car repoed, and it was like, favorite movie is. It was a favorite movie.
That was important to know because it was Gremlins, and that was going to be involved in the question.
It was tied into everything.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was, I don't know. I don't have a lot of positive things to say for this show. And then I don't consequently have a lot of positive things to say about society, civilization.
We're fine. We're doing fine. Just keep your head buried and just keep moving. Here's what you need to do. Take one from the kids. Just keep grinding. Just keep grinding.
I'm telling you, I don't know how we haven't cut off King Louis's head at this point.
Whose head would be cut off? Just every person in a manager position.
Dude, fucking yes.
If your title is director or above, you're fucked.
If you're a politician and or you make greater than $300,000 a year.
Well, I thought 400 was the 1%.
Okay, $400,000.
If you're at 399 though, guess what? You're president now.
Then the cycle begins anew.
Yeah.
Like this is a serious let them eat cars moment for me.
Mm-hmm.
It was super fucked up, super exploitative, and worse than the war going on in Ukraine.
Okay, I wouldn't go that far. I do have...
Oh, yeah? How many people in Ukraine have had their cars repossessed?
Blown up. It's asterisk blown up.
How many have had them repossessed is all I'm asking.
Probably a lot.
Because here it's one every 12
Honestly,
seconds.
their whole country is getting repossessed by Putin right now is what's happening.
No, only like half of it.
Mm-hmm, for now.
Well, if the whole country, if he got all of Ukraine, then they would border Poland, who would be a NATO member, and they don't want to border a NATO country. So
what if this whole thing in Ukraine is a game show and they're just getting a lot of questions wrong?
This is just a big Russian game show.
Yeah.
It's a prank, bro.
It's a prank.
It's for Putin's YouTube account. He's really trying to boost his interactions.
That's why he keeps screaming like and subscribe after each of his speeches.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
He's like, all right, well, dude, I got a funny prank. All right, so we pretend like we're starting World War III. All right, like what if everybody in the world's like, oh my God, World War III, and then I was just like, oh, you've been punked, and they're like, oh my God, Putin, you're fucking hilarious. I thought this was really a war. My sister is dead. My sister is dead.
Yeah.
I thought for sure this was a war.
But think about how many subs he got.
So many.
You got Putined. You got pwned. Putoned.
Putoned.
You got Putoned.
You got Putoned. That's like I saw that everybody right now is doing
Wordle.
Their best to contribute to the cause. And that we mentioned last episode important things like changing your profile picture, adding the Ukrainian flag to your Twitter emoji name. And maybe most importantly, in Canada, a restaurant has removed poutine from the menu because it sounds too much like Putin.
That's a tragedy because across all of the exports that Canada exports, poutine is by far one of the best things.
Okay, but the good news is they haven't removed what the actual food is. They've just the name of it isn't that.
Off the menu.
It's like, remember?
They're trying to change the name of the dish.
Yeah. Remember like the freedom fries thing?
I do, because fuck the French.
France doesn't support us invading a sovereign nation for some reason.
Yeah.
And we were like, fuck them. We can't call them French fries anymore. And like French's Mustard had to put out a statement that was like, just to be clear, we're not French also, by the way. We love killing kids in Iraq. We're fully on board with the rest of the country on the killing kids in Iraq part.
Terrorists. If you say terrorists, it makes it so much easier to digest.
No, all you have to do is say, we thought there was a terrorist, but it was actually just a family having a picnic.
Or you just have to kill one of the big terrorists at some point.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Told you. You're like, told you he was there.
And then you just go, actually, what happened was we had a very targeted attack. It actually just hit him right in the head, and he happened to be wearing a suicide bomb that killed the neighboring block.
Right. And we did have that intelligence.
And that is absolutely the type of stuff that our intelligence agencies put out there and expect us to believe. And we fucking do, because we're stupid idiots. We're stupid puppets who like to watch people lose their cars for funny laughs. Ha ha.
You know what I think we should do? We should start the revolution.
I'm in. This podcast The revolution will not be televised. It will be a podcast.
Podcasted. The revolution will be podcasted.
The revolution will be podcasted.
And guess what? It starts now. So I suggest killing your bosses.
Let's hold off a little bit. Let's check with.
I thought
let's check with our legal department on what we can and can't say.
Okay.
Technically, legally.
So I allegedly just said kill your bosses.
Right. Allegedly. Quote, very slow quotes.
Right. And this very slow quotes. Very slow quotes. And this is a comedy podcast. I think we legally have to say that after what I just said.
Yeah, satire.
Fair
use, etc., whatever.
Satire.
I will
Which kind of sounds like Stalin, so we're going to change it to satin.
Yes. That sounds more like Stalin than satire does, though.
Does it?
Yeah, because it has the N, whereas satire did not.
Stalin, satin.
Right.
Okay. Cedar.
Okay. Thank you. This is cedar.
Do the Jewish people own that word, though?
That's Seder. I think it's a little different.
Okay.
Yeah, so this game show, I'm going to say, doesn't even deserve to get a buzzer rating.
Oh, I was going to give it 4. I was going to give it 5, but the exploitative aspect knocked it down,
one. So, like, I went into this, I was like, I Googled weirdest game shows ever.
You're the one that wanted to do this game show.
No, I know.
You have gotten inflamed about it.
I Googled weirdest game shows ever, and this popped up, and I thought, oh, that sounds fun. And then I started watching, and I was right.
Oh,
fuck you, poor people. I'm upper middle class.
Yeah.
I go to Spearmint Rhinos.
UMC. I'm a UMC as well.
So yeah, this Repo Games. You can't watch it without paying for it, so I strongly recommend not doing that.
Yeah, and if you're already kind of upset...
It's not even on Paramount Plus!
If you're kind of upset with how the world is, don't watch this, because it might actually be the spark plug to the engine of you murdering people in power.
So wait, do we recommend that everybody watch this?
Do we actually want to start a revolution?
Do we wake people up?
No, because when I have lived
I've
my
got bone
life
spurs,
selfishly,
so I will not be fighting in the revolution, but I will be cheering you guys on from the sideline.
God, we're like coaches of football teams.
I will absolutely be. Listen, I'll be changing my Twitter profile picture for whatever the flag of the revolution is.
I'm changing it to Poutine.
Don't worry about that. I will make sure that FIFA removes the United States national team from the... This is the stuff that's going on right now that also makes me wish there was a revolution. So there's this war going on where Russia invaded Ukraine.
Right.
And
allegedly.
So what's happening now is companies like Apple,
Visa,
Google,
MasterCard.
Are you just naming companies?
No, those were companies that also have
they
stopped
are
doing business.
Stopping doing business in Russia.
Right.
FIFA has taken all Russian soccer clubs and the Russian national team out of the FIFA video game. They're imposing all these economic sanctions on these people. All these businesses are ceasing to do business in Russia with, the regular ass Russian people that are also people that are not fucking Vladimir Putin, that are not invading any nations. The amount of people on Twitter and in the media and things like that I've basically seen celebrating that, like, oh man, these sanctions are gonna fuck their economy so bad. Those people are so fucked and they're gonna starve to death. Fuck yeah, we got them. They're regular fucking people.
And that's a common misconception, because Putin has cloned himself into...
and it's all of the population.
It's so easy to think like that. They're all little Putins. They all agree with this war. But it's similar to how everybody agreed with the Trump presidency. Everybody was on board with Trump. And everybody
Exactly. He represented every single American.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's just further sign of that divide when... all these fucking privileged American people are just celebrating how shitty poor Russian people are going to have it.
Yeah.
God, we're going to fuck them up so bad. They're not going to be able to buy bread. You get no bread anymore. Wonder Bread is ceasing operations in Russia.
Good.
So, yeah. This has been a very ranty episode. Very ranty.
Yeah.
We've done a lot of ranting.
But on one side, but it does seem like you needed to get it
you've done
out,
some ranting
and you
too.
have a platform to do it now, and it's not. I think it's therapeutic. It's good, and it's not like the stuff that you're saying is like, let's start a revolution.
No, you said that.
No, you've also
right,
but you piggybacked.
No, you're right. I said let's start a revolution.
Yeah.
You said murder your bosses.
And I'm sorry. How else do you start a revolution? What do you think? People just go out and start burning cars in the street? Come on. You have to be a targeted revolution.
At the boss class.
Just those people. Because everybody else is fine. And saints and angels.
Obviously. So yeah, this has been an episode.
Maybe this should have been a short episode. Maybe we should cut it off at a certain point.
Just before we get too far.
And if you want to dub over "kill your bosses" to "kiss your babies," I think the lips will look kind of similar.
That's probably true. All right, we are done for now. You're going away this weekend or last weekend?
I'll be in Austin. Yeah, there's no point in talking about stuff in the
I know
future.
it's hard.
Yeah.
So yeah, we will see you guys next week, and until then,
Viva la revolution.
kiss your babies.
Oh.